Throughout this campaign, Bernie Sanders has been consistently criticized because he has ideas that are just too big. They're pie in the sky, they're not politically feasible, they can never get through. But I've maintained that we need a president who has these big, grand ideas, because even if there's a 0% chance that they're going to pass, well, a president can still change the trajectory of the country and change the entire Democratic Party. Case in point, nobody was talking about free community college until Barack Obama brought it up at a State of the Union event. And now all of a sudden, all the other Democrats fell in line and were saying they support free community college, including Hillary Clinton. Now, the problem that I have with Hillary Clinton is that she's not even going to try. She's not even going to try to push for universal healthcare. She's not even going to try to push for free college education. She's just saying, it's not possible, so I'm not going to do it. Well, way to dream big. I mean, in 2008, we had Obama saying anything is possible. We have hope. And now Hillary Clinton is saying, nope, can't do it, sorry. Well, thankfully, someone agrees with me. That is Vice President Joe Biden, because he came to Bernie Sanders' defense and said, we need someone who thinks big. He states, I like the idea of saying we can do much more because we can. I don't think any Democrats ever won saying we can't think that big. We ought to really downsize here because it's not realistic. Come on, man. This is the Democratic Party. I'm not part of the party that says, well, we can't do it. I completely disagree with that proposition. Everything I've ever cared about, with the exception of the president's brilliant passage of the Affordable Care Act, takes time. The only way to get these big things done is to talk about them. So apparently, everyone else in the Democratic establishment disagrees with Joe Biden because that's been the new talking point. No, we can't. We can't get this done. We can't get universal healthcare. We can't break up the big banks. It's pie in the sky, so stop talking about it.
Health emergencies can't wait for us to have some theoretical debate about some better idea that will never, ever come to pass.
Well, Joe Biden is actually disagreeing with his establishment buddies. Now, I like everything that Joe Biden just said, with the exception of the Affordable Care Act example, because it was right-wing policy, and second of all, you guys compromised before you even got to the negotiating table. You didn't even try to push for universal health care when you had a supermajority in the Senate and you had a majority in the House. So that's not the best example that you can use. But at the same time, I love this sentiment. I like that Joe Biden is coming to Bernie Sanders' defense. I want things that will dramatically impact the course of the country. And making incremental changes is not going to stop us from heading towards another economic catastrophe. Making incremental changes is not going to bring back the middle class. So I hate this whole Hillary the pragmatist. I hate this new pragmatist Democrat that doesn't want to dream big, that doesn't want to support universal health care, that doesn't want to get money out of politics. It's really frustrating that this party completely abandoned their principles all because of Hillary Clinton. Now, I love the fact that he said nobody's ever won by saying we can't do this or that, because that's exactly what Hillary Clinton has been trying to do. She's trying to win by saying, no, we can't get this done. How is that going to excite everyone? She talks about how all of Sanders' young supporters is going to unite behind her and coalesce around the Democratic nominee come November, but they're not excited. They're just going to stay home. Why would they get out to vote for you? You see these states like Arizona where they had to wait in line 5 hours. Why would they come out and take time off of work, wait 5 hours in line to vote for someone who is not going to bring about actual fundamental change, which is what we need? They're just not going to do that. So the fact that you're not exciting anyone is not surprising. So now there's two last points I want to make about Joe Biden. First and foremost is that he's been kind of circling around it, but I really wish that he would just come out and endorse Bernie Sanders. That could honestly do wonders right now. And second of all, I just want you guys to think about this hypothetical scenario. If it were the case that Joe Biden had run, this would be an entirely different race. Bernie Sanders would have basically wrapped up the nomination, because what Joe Biden would have done is he would have split the establishment vote, because there are many people who are very moderate and establishment Democrats who don't necessarily like Hillary Clinton because logically she's not the best candidate to put up against a Republican with the FBI investigation and the fact that she has such a low net favorability, even among Democratic voters. So they would have probably liked a second option if they wanted someone that wasn't, revolutionary like Bernie Sanders, and they would have picked Joe Biden, and that would have split their vote, and Bernie Sanders would have had the plurality and probably would have won. So I really, really wish that Joe Biden would have stepped in the race just for my own selfish reasons, so that way Bernie Sanders would have had a better chance. And trust me, man, I mean, I have no way to prove this, and this is entirely speculative, but I really think Bernie Sanders would have won if Joe Biden entered the race. So it's frustrating that he did it, and it's frustrating that he won't just come out and endorse Bernie Sanders. Same thing with Elizabeth Warren. I mean, you have so many people who could have helped him so much. He would have won Massachusetts if Elizabeth Warren would have endorsed him. He could have won many other states if Joe Biden endorsed him early and didn't just imply that he, wants to endorse Bernie. We're not going to stop fighting, but I would have liked to have just an easier time with Bernie just sweeping and winning so many more states. But again, this doesn't mean it's the end for us and Bernie Sanders' campaign. We're going to fight like hell. I'm going to continue to donate to his campaign and talk about Bernie Sanders because he's the one opportunity that we have for fundamental change in the United States. I don't know when Tim Canova or John Fetterman or Alex Law is going to run for president. But in the meanwhile, we have Bernie Sanders, an opportunity to truly change the country and change the lives of so many citizens. And the Democratic Party and their voters are spoiling it so far. So don't think that this means we're giving up. But again, it just really could have been different if it were the case that other things had happened, like Joe Biden entered the race. So that's all I want to say about this. I'm really glad that Joe Biden came to Bernie's defense because his point it's just logical.